Keewi. I don't know who this Keewi is that you speak of. I'm Dr. Keewington. Hello, how are you doing today on a scale of 1 to 10? My name is Dr. Keewington. I don't know who this Keewi is. Moist Critical, who is that? I was introduced to the interwebs today, and I'm here to spread wisdom with you all. Hell yeah. Okay, I don't know who you are, AMR, but I immediately like your vibe. Who is this Keewi you keep speaking of? Who is this Keewi? Dr. Gregington, you actually look like a YouTuber I watched, not Charlie. I don't know what a YouTuber is. Hello, T-Dog. How are you doing today on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being terrible, 10 being amazing? Be honest. I don't know what happened either. I am on this thing called the internet, and I was instructed to share wisdom. Tell me your deepest, darkest secrets, okay? Right now, drop it. I am here to give advice. I am a qualified expert. I'm a doctor, okay? Keewington, PhD. Charles, what are you doing here? I don't know who this Charles is that you keep referring to, but it's not me. Dr. Keewington, I'm trapped in the Krusty Krab. Help me. What is the Krusty Krab? Dog, I have no fucking clue, and I've been here the whole time. Doc, what is the meaning of life? Okay, now this is a good question, and this is something I'm qualified to answer. So, the meaning of life, it really depends on who you are specifically, but my belief, personally, I like to look for little joys. I like to look for things that give me happiness in my day-to-day life. I do not search for a grand purpose for myself. I think my own grand purpose is to enjoy every single day that I'm given and to spread joy to others. Greg after taking testosterone. So, I do not engage in the consumption of testosterone. I am in fact a male. So, I do not know what you are referring to. MadJack1248. Hello, I watched your ethical gooning video. What ethical gooning video? But hello to you too, KJR. I skinned a man alive next week. Is that secret dark enough? Okay, can we get the authorities into this fellow's room immediately? Let's get them obtained. I think Keewi is hot. What the fuck did you do to me? I don't know who this Keewi is that you speak of. Can we get some clarification in here or stop referring to them? Last week. That makes a lot more sense, T-Dog. I thought you were jumping into the future to commit this crime. I'm 6,000 meters below sea level and drowning actively. They're trying to force feed me burgers. Okay, so I would recommend first leaving the ocean. Doc, what is the origin of language? How did language start? That's a question that I'm not qualified to answer. I raw dogged my grandma. So I noticed your username is raw dogging grandma. So I would recommend against doing that for many different reasons. Some of them being health related and some of them being related to morals. And I should not have to explain this to you. It should be inherent. I am deeply concerned for your well-being. I'm tied to a treasure chest. Okay, so what you're gonna do, untie yourself and then swim up, okay? Okay. You look like Carl Urban now. I don't know who Carl Urban is. Congrats on the transition, Greg. So, I don't know why people keep saying transition. I don't know why people keep saying Greg, and I don't know why people keep saying Keewi. I have not engaged in any transition. What field do you major in if you are a real doctor? Psychology. Thank you for asking. That's our first normal question, hell yeah. I like to pretend I'm a wizard when I go through automatic doors. What are automatic doors? So see, I'm not very familiar with this technology, and I'm seeing a lot of jargon being tossed around. I am deeply unfamiliar with it. Doctoring. Hello, Charlie from Penguin Z. So that's like the 5th time I've been called Charlie or Penguin Z. Still don't know who this person is. Hello, Sokar. Hello, Valentine. How are you doing today on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being terrible, 10 being amazing? Be honest. My name is Dr. Keewington. How do I grow a beard like yours? That's a wonderful question. I like to groom it pretty often. I don't go crazy. I just run a little razor through it, but you know, the thick razor. I don't like it smooth. I prefer to always have a slight beard going on. All species have some form of language. Humans evolved to specialize in intelligence due to them being primates. True. This is scaring me. What is scaring you, Sokar? Gregington, what year are you from? I am currently in the year 1988. Doc, what year are you from? 1988. What planet? Oh my god. Hello, Wei Kira. How are you doing today on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being terrible, 10 being amazing? Be honest. Bro, Uncanny Valley? What is Uncanny Valley? What's your favorite rock? That's a wonderful question. So, my favorite rock, it's between a couple. So, one of them, selenite. This is so cool. I love how it's see-through. I also love the cylindrical shape. However, there are some others that I really like as well. Tiger's Eye. This might be my absolute favorite. Look at how chunky it is. Look at the nice stripes in there, right? I love Tiger's Eye. So, this is probably my favorite rock. Yeah. What made you decide to start streaming? This girl kidnapped me, and I woke up in this room tied to this chair, and she told me, you're gonna go on here and you're gonna stream and you're gonna share your wisdom with them, or I am going to do something violent to you. So I didn't ask any questions, I just obeyed. Hello, Valentine. This is a psychiatrist session. Yes, it is indeed. Jesus, if he was homeless. I guess you could say that. Doc, what are your plans for Valentine's Day? I do not have a significant other, so I plan to engage in my studies. I'm from 19,810. That's interesting. He just has them on hand. Yes, I do. I keep my rocks with me at all times. Why is Moist Keewickle in here? I don't know who this Moist Keewickle is that you refer to. The cylinder must not be harmed. Dr. Keewington, what is your opinion on the IBM 5150? What is that, Retronaut Kiwi? Doctor, I'm a vampire. Do you think I can go into the sun? No. I mean, you could. No, you absolutely could. But you would die. No one asked that. Stop making up questions. Who is this Way Kira fellow, and can we get them removed from the chat? Will Kiwi ever release the ranking every type of seal video? You would have to ask her yourself. Doctor, what do you know about the Keewi files? I was not given any information upon waking up here. I do not know what you are referring to. I barely even know this Kiwi person. No significant other. Dev. Kira, I do not know what you are referring to. New skin because she was caught harassing Dev. Is there harassment occurring in this household? I would not be surprised. Given the treatment that I received upon waking up here, I would not be surprised if this woman was a harasser. Dev is Kiwi's wife, that's not Kiwi. Well, that's in fact true. Some dots are starting to connect. Is this Dev a victim of abuse, perchance? Keewington, you dirty liar, I know the person that you are staying with, and they would never abuse you. They are not an abuser. Are you a part of the Dev Intelligence Agency? No. I woke up here, and I was immediately ordered to start streaming. So, I do not know what you are referring to, and I do not appreciate these allegations. Ad. What is an ad? This is Dr. Keewington. What do you mean, Kiwi? Thank you for getting my name proper. Do you know about the fruit kiwi? I am familiar with it. Alter Kigo. What does that mean? I think kiwis were invented in 2009. How are you accessing 2009? The year is 1988. He suffers on a daily basis, perchance? Who is suffering? Who is suffering? Do you know what area you are in? I will alert authorities that you have been kidnapped, good sir. I do not. My home is in Virginia, and one day I was roaming the streets, I was knocked out, and I woke up here. I have no idea where I am. I do not know how long I was asleep. All I know is that I am not in my home. Dr. Keewington, tell us stories of your senior year of college. Year 8. I have not attended college for 8 years. I don't know what you're referring to. Bro, bro is stacking laughs. Wait, Kira, I don't know why you're insinuating that I wouldn't just laugh when experiencing something amusing. Hello, Derp. Doc, what is your stance on the Discord situation, and when do you describe it as crazy? What is the Discord situation? How did you get from Virginia to Delaware? What makes you think I'm in Delaware? Retro, are you aware of my location? Are you in on this kidnapping? Dr. Gregington, the girl that hit you over the head is insane, but she only eats protein-flavored sustenance bars and yogurt. Feed her something else and she will melt. This is extremely valuable information. Thank you, Mad Jack. I will keep this in mind. And I will keep you posted. Although, if she's watching this recording, then I'm sure she will be in on my plan and it will be foiled immediately. And of course he's from Virginia. Dr. Keewington, what are your views on gays? I don't have any strong opinions on gay individuals. I have not seen many in my time, but I remember a friend back from college was gay. He was quite the character. I don't trust this doctor. They don't have a PhD. I do have a PhD, actually. Where did you get your medical license? That's none of your business, Felicia. Dr. Keewington, how many houses do you own? A 5-figure salary is absurd. I own 1 house. But I appreciate the insinuation that I'm swimming in funds. Dr. Gregington Gregory, do you think that oranges are called oranges because they are orange? No, actually, fun fact, the color orange was named based off of the fruit orange. The girl who kidnapped you is allergic to water and doesn't shower. This is extremely valuable information. Hopefully she's not watching this stream so that I can utilize it to escape. Ad are short for advertisement, which is a notice or announcement in a public medium promoting a product, service, or event, or publicizing a job vacancy, but sometimes games or movies too. Interesting. Thank you, Valentine. Dr. Keewington, Vladimir Lenin stated the following from The State and Revolution. At present, imperialism and the domination of banks have developed into an exceptional art, both these methods of upholding and giving effect to the omnipotence of wealth in democratic republics of all descriptions. Since, for instance, in the very first months of the Russian Democratic Republic, one might say during the honeymoon of the socialist SRs and Mensheviks joined in wedlock to the bourgeoisie. Hello, Thicky Phoenix. How are you doing today on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being terrible, 10 being amazing, be honest. It's 1980. It is actually 1988. Houses cost $30. They do not. I wish they cost $30, but they don't. Do you agree? I am not a politician, I am a psychologist. You are asking the wrong person. Hello, 3 grains of salt. How are you doing today on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being terrible, 10 being amazing, be honest. What time were you kidnapped? I don't know. I was walking down the street. I want to say it was maybe 11:15. The sun was high in the sky. Dr. Keewin Zero. So that's a name that I've never been called before. I can't poop. I haven't been able to defecate for the past 3 days. I don't want a solution. Thank you. Thank you for sharing this information with me, Wei Kira. It is extremely vulnerable, and I'm glad that you trust me enough to share this information with me, especially in a public setting. You are appreciated, okay? 3 grains of salt. Subscribed at tier 1. They've subscribed for 2 months. 3 grains of salt, thank you for pouring your money into this insane individual. I will be sure to let her know of this act of generosity. Dr. Greg, meow, 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 meow. Meow. 11 messages were deleted by a moderator. What does that mean? She is also a cat girl and hates a dude named Dev. Tell her that you are Dev and that you have soap and water and she will run. Interesting. I'll keep this in mind. Dr. Keewington, can you speak in a lower register the rest of the stream? Why do you ask this? I'll try my best. Hello, boss. It's a therapy session from a psychologist that Keewi kidnapped. I'm glad that you have the story straight. It feels good to be understood, even if it's by strangers on this internet. Oh my god, moist critically. So this is probably the 7th time that I've been called moist critically. Could somebody explain to me what this nickname means? Doc, are you happy that you got kidnapped? Of course not. Why would I be happy that I got kidnapped? I would like to return to my studies. I would like to return to Virginia. I would like to return to my home and the comfort and the familiarity. And I would not like to be stuck in the basement of this insane, deranged individual. Dockerman, what do you use on your hair? I don't use anything. I actually use water quite frequently. And if my hair is especially atrocious, I will scrub it for longer than usual. I do not spend any time on my hair. I also appreciate that you have subscribed with Prime. I will be sure to inform the deranged girl of this. First stream I caught, by the way. That's good to hear. I'm sure that I am providing you a more enjoyable experience than the Keewi individual. Good night, Dr. Keewington and chat. Good night, Nettle. Doc, you said you're a psychologist. Therefore, can you explain to me why my mother abuse behavior helped me in making me a Therian? What is a Therian? Hey Doc, why were you in the Epstein files? What are the Epstein files? Are you Virginian or West Virginian? I am Virginian. You share a strong resemblance to a very infamous individual known as Moist Critical. Interesting. Also, Dr. Gregington, your hair is looking nice and brown, and a bit orange in the light today. Thank you. My hair is in fact brown. Yo, she's clearly cosplaying Big Daddy Freud. I am not in fact cosplaying Sigmund Freud. Do own an apple as in the fruit. Do I own an apple? I'm sure there is an apple somewhere in my abode. That's called ginger. Wait, Kira, my hair is not in fact ginger, my hair is brown. Thank you very much. Oh, it's because they confuse you with a streamer called Moist Critical. And you look similar to him, and you're streaming at Keewi's channel, so that's why it's the Critically thing. Valentine, I deeply appreciate your thorough explanation. This is very helpful. Dr. Greg, are you ginger? No. I do not understand why I've been referred to as ginger 3 times now. My hair is clearly brown, as you can see. Okay? I have never in my life received such allegations, and it's deeply confusing to me, because this is clearly brown, and if you think anything otherwise, you should probably get your eyes checked. Okay? Okay. Hi doctor, I'm doing a 7 out of 10 today. Question, do you know the identities of the leches and tres leches? It's a pressing issue. Wonderful question, Zeph. Now, I will be happy to inform you. So, leche is actually Spanish for milk. So in tres leches, it means 3 milks. Now, I've never actually baked this dish before, but if I recall correctly, it involves using 3 types of milk. Milk, sweetened condensed milk, and 1 other. And it is a cake, and that is why it is called tres leches. I am happy to be of assistance. My apologies, Zeph, I didn't see your message. I would never ignore you. If your hair is brown, why your beard black? Well, Akira, I don't know how to explain to you why my hair behaves the way that it does. It is completely normal to have hair that is different colors. My streamer running out of ideas, why is she kidnapping people now? And do you find the recently popularized language Fortran interesting? It's used in the programming powering your medical equipment. Fascinating. I've heard nothing about this. I am not in any way involved in software engineering. I'm merely a psychologist, and these things are beyond my jurisdiction. Do you, perchance, know an individual called Freddy Fazbear? He's a friend of mine, and he's ginger, like you. I've never heard of this Freddy Fazbear individual. And I am not, in fact, ginger. Thank you very much. Sir Gregorthy, that is not my name, very important question. What is this jovial little emoticon that is dancing on my screen? How do we break Keewi's character? Who is this Keewi? Why do you keep referring to me as Keewi? If I recall correctly, Keewi is the individual that has kidnapped me, and I do not appreciate being referred to as this deranged girl. Doc, can you explain how to use Gauss's law to calculate the electric charge inside an infinite sheet of paper? No, I am merely a psychologist. Of course, Valentine. Why is that guy behind you? What guy? There is no guy behind me. You look like a bisexual. I am in fact bisexual, Waikira, but I don't know how you are able to discern that from my appearance. Hello, Moist Critical. That is now the 8th time I have been referred to as Moist Critical. Hello, Mayo. To clear up any confusion, I am not Moist Critical. My name is Dr. Keewington. The Keewi situation is crazy. What happened to Keewi, and why is it crazy? Doc, what is your opinion on Sigmund Frizzy? I think that his theories are rather interesting to prod around for entertainment. I think they have very little pragmatic value. Jovial little emoticon. Yes, indeed. Dr. Keewington, what is your favorite music? I'm a big fan of classical music. I will enjoy the occasional folk song. I'm a big fan of the banjo. I actually play it. Hi, Charlie. My name is not Charlie. Doc, why did Keewi kidnap you? That is a question that I cannot answer. Dr. Gregington, what would you do if you were trapped in an old laboratory with an evil robot AI that controls the facility? What is this AI you speak of? Secretly cares about you and is forcing you to test rooms with a portal device and fall-breaking boots. I would attempt to escape. Man from the 80s is bisexual. Yes, it is uncommon, but nevertheless, it is possible. Hey Doc, can you explain me Russell's paradox? I cannot. I am not familiar with that paradox. Are you critical of being moist? No. There's nothing wrong with being slightly damp. Dr. Keewington, what is your first name and why is it John? My first name is not John, and I do not appreciate such allegations. Why would you assume that my first name is John? Doc, should I go all in on 17 Black? What does that mean, a fat seal? Keewi is the individual that kidnapped you. I think if you can find some yogurt, you can lure her into releasing you. Really? Lure her with yogurt? But how would I obtain such yogurt? If you're a psychologist, how do I get rid of the voices in my head? One strategy that I have seen attempted is a lobotomy that you might want to explore. But if that doesn't sound quite your speed, you could also try sleeping properly. You could try psychotic medications. I do like classical music. Sir Gregarious, what's your favorite band? I prefer to play my own music. I prefer to go to the local bar and listen to whatever artist is currently playing. John Keewington, stop lying. Retro not Keewi, if you would like to refer to me as John Keewington, then that is your right. John Keewington. Your ID is on your shirt. I am not in fact wearing an ID, thank you very much. Actually, you kinda look like Chris Cornell. Who is this Chris Cornell you speak of? Doc, why'd she leave me? Casper the Friendly Ghost 6666, could you please outline this scenario and I will attempt to assist you in determining why she left you. Do you have a home bar? I feel like a doctor from the 80s would. I do not, unfortunately. However, I would like to. I do not have the financial means to do so, but I'm hoping to at some point. Dr. Gregington, what is the amps in a 240 volt 2 ohm system? I am a psychologist. I do not know what you speak of. I am not a physicist. Dr. Oski, may I ask if your beard is real? It is in fact real. And if so, how do you manage to make your hair look so ethereal? I appreciate the compliment, Yuki. My hair? Like I mentioned before, I do nothing to take care of my hair. I let nature run its course, and I use water. I use water and I brush it when I feel like it. That may or may not be every day. It depends on how much energy I have at a given moment. John Keewington, have you heard of a small local band called the Beatles? I think their name has come across my ear once or twice. Are you familiar with Jack Queslick? I am not familiar with that name. Connor. Hello, Valid Salad Zero. I just joined. Keewi looks way better than normal. Who is this Keewi that you keep referring to me as? Christopher John Cornell was an American singer, guitarist, and lyricist who performed with the grunge band Soundgarden and the supergroup Audioslave. He also had a solo career and contributed to movie soundtracks. Cornell formed Soundgarden in 1984 and is considered one of rock history's greatest vocalists. Interesting. Thank you for the explanation, Zeph. Sir Gregathon, why? Why? So this is a name that I've never been called before. Sir Gregathon. I would waste my energy on protesting such a title, but I will refuse to. John Keewington, would you be shocked if you heard that this magical television in front of you is actually allowing you to communicate 40 years in the future? I would. I would be shocked, and I would not believe you. Doc, shake yo dreads. I do not in fact have dreads. My hair is quite straight, and it is not in a braid of any kind. So I cannot engage in this activity of shaking my dreads. Doc, what is your opinion on hands-free gooning? Could you define gooning for me, and then I could elaborate? Dr. Gregington, what would you do if this community started saying W-Dev and L. Dr. Gregington? Who is this Dev fellow that keeps being brought up? You look like a female manipulator. I do not know why I'm being labeled as female. I am in fact male. This was held up for you look like a female. This language is so perplexing to me. You should get dreads. I will look into it. I don't think my hair would be a suitable candidate for dreads. However, if you think that I would rock them, as the kids are saying nowadays, I could look into it. Doctor, are you telling us your hair is straighter than what? Yuki, you seem to have left us on a cliffhanger there. Sir Gronk, have you ever heard of Green Day? My name is not Sir Gronk, and no, I have not. Hello, Gamer Twitch. This is now the 9th time I have been referred to as Charlie. I am not, in fact, this moist, critical individual. Sir Chili Chud III. That might be the most creative name I have been called thus far. What are your thoughts on the transatlantic slave trade? I think it is a subhuman practice, and it leaves a lot of sour flavors in my mouth. It does not leave a nice impression on my brain. Dev is your captor's arch nemesis. Arch nemesis? Well, if Dev is my captor's arch nemesis, then he and I are allies. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Dr. Keewington, how could I stop hating someone who doesn't exist? Like an AI called Nightbot. I do not know what this AI is that you speak of, but if somebody doesn't exist, why would you waste your energy on them? Holy ads. 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 So this is the ad you speak of. The promotional material. Interesting. And what is the point of running such ads? Explain to me. You said it was for monetary gain. So are you saying this streamer girl is money hungry? Ad right when I was going to hear Chili Chud's thoughts on the transatlantic slave trade. I can guarantee you my thoughts are extremely negative. Wait, you're right. Thank you, Doctor. Of course, Valentine. Doctor, what would you be unhappy? Doctor, would you be unhappy if you were damp, perchance? If so, could you explain to us in detail how unhappy at an extent of 1 to 167? If I were damp, I would be relatively unhappy because it is not comfortable, so I will rank it a 130 out of 167. Yes, she's money hungry. That does not surprise me. Running ads for monetary gain at the expense of the viewers? That does seem like a money hungry practice. Doctor, what's your favorite historical civilization? Mine is the Iroquois Confederacy. That is rather fascinating. I must say I learned about the Iroquois in my years of high school, but that was a long time ago, and my memories have long faded. Freedom indeed, Valid Salad. Doc, we never told you Moist Critical was Charlie. Thank you, Gamer Twitch, for subscribing with Prime. I will be sure to inform the deranged Ginger of this notification. You are very kind and generous. Doc, do you prefer the number 67 or 69? Probably 69. I appreciate the symmetry. Dr. Gregington, can you do a flip? I cannot. Doc, how old are you? I am 39. Dr. Gregington, can you skate a skateboard? I cannot. Wait, Keewi is Ginger. Yes, I have been given the impression that this Keewi individual is Ginger. And upon viewing her for the few minutes in which she was accosting me and describing to me the tasks which I must perform to keep my life, I would agree with the assertion that her hair was rather ginger. Jesus, we. I have been compared to Jesus before, although I do not understand the we suffix, but I appreciate the compliment. Doc, can you pronounce rambunctran scrung generation ipowesid? No, I cannot, Fat Seal. Keewi Ginger confirmed. Potentially. Ads are not necessarily for monetary gains. The ads make money for the streamer and the company who made the ad. Ads are just for promotion on individuals that may catch an interest for the service / game / movie / miscellaneous, etc. displayed in such ad. Thank you, Valentine. That clears things up. We are Jesus. I am not in fact Jesus, 6'7" do 6'7", but I appreciate the comparison. It is rather humbling. Dr. Gregington, what was that last price of a burger at McDonald's? I do not visit this McDonald's franchise that you speak of. I prefer to cook my own food. The we suffix is simply Keewi shortened. Oh, I see. Thank you, Jace. Now, why am I being compared to my captor? We could also mean Wisconsin. Excellent observations, F. Jace, are you sure that the we suffix wasn't in reference to the state Wisconsin? Not for monetary gain, just to get monetary gain. Two very compelling arguments. Who to believe? Who to believe? I am very new to this idea of playing videos with promotional material for funds. I am the wrong person to ask. I am but a psychologist. Christ we. So why am I being compared to Jesus Christ and my captor simultaneously? It was about Wisconsin. Okay, Pinty, thank you for the clarification. That does make sense. Wisconsin is a beautiful state. Has anyone been to Wisconsin? Hey Doc, what's your words per minute? I would say I can speak probably 100 words per minute if I'm very interested in a subject. It could have been Wisconsin. They might have been calling you Jesus from Wisconsin. Excellent observation. I think that may be the proper explanation. Since you are from the 80s, I should warn you that on September 10th, 2001, the Denver Broncos defeated the New York Giants. How are you accessing the future? Nevertheless, I will keep this information in mind. Thank you. Hey Doc, is knowing a curse or blessing? It is absolutely a blessing. I will always choose the rough path. I will always choose knowledge over blissful ignorance. Yo, Dev is my Valentine, by the way. If I recall correctly, Dev was the significant other of my ginger captor, was he not? So how could Dev be your Valentine if he is also involved with the woman? What if we was actually a ref to 6-7, because the letter W is the 67th letter if you read the alphabet 3 times? Interesting observation, 6-7 do 6-7. I'm gonna choose to ignore it. He asked me and I said yes in a dream. 3 grains of salt? A confession in a dream doesn't seem to be proper grounds for proclaiming a relationship. Do you perchance require ads for using your money wrongly in acts of gambling? If so, would you be interested in going to Las Vegas? I've heard they've opened a new house of cards where concubines work. I am rather fascinated with gambling. It is a hobby of mine. Hey Doc, what's the point? The point of what, Valid Salad? William Dockington, since you're a doctor yourself, what is your opinion on docking? You know, the act of being a doctor. Docking is rather wonderful, if that's the verb you would like to utilize to describe it. It is my #1 passion in life. It's why I wake up in the morning. I feel as though the very fibers of my being were created to pursue docking. Doc, what's your opinion on AI girlfriends? I'm not familiar with this AI you speak of. Be careful of September 11th, 2001. Keewi will kidnap me and my ice cream will melt. Good to know, Jace. I still don't know how you all are accessing the future. Doc, I think something worse happened in September 2001. Could you inform me of this worse event? Wisconsin is pretty cool. A lot of bars though, which is cool, but I don't drink. Interesting. I do drink, so I will be sure to visit it and keep that in mind. Nothing's worse than my ice cream melting. That is true. Ice cream melting is in fact a grand tragedy. And I can't imagine something even worse than that could occur in this September of 2001. Hey Doc, what does the dog say? I believe the dog makes a sound colloquially known as woof. I think someone died in September of 2001. That is terrible news, Valid Salad. Although, they objectively did. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but many people die every single minute worldwide. Oh, it's because the dev individual is a spectator of this streamer, and sometimes a streamer of his own channel, and everyone fights for him because everyone is crazy for him. Interesting. And despite all this, the Ginger seems to have solidified her position as this dev's significant other. What a feat. Doc, what is worse than 1 bee sting? Probably 2 bee stings, or getting hit by a moving vehicle. Do you think it's ethical to stop your children from being able to partake in docking? If your children would like to become doctors, then you should not stop them. You should let them pursue their dreams. Doc, what is your favorite ice cream, chocolate or strawberry? My favorite ice cream flavor does not lie within those 2 options, but if I had to choose one, I would go with chocolate. Doc, do you know about the morphogenetic field? I do not. My name is Zeph. Hey Doc, why do they call it oven when you in the cold food out of hot eat the food? Is this Sokar wasn't their individual mentally well? Should we get them checked into an institution, perchance? You know what else was hit by a moving vehicle? I do not, Felicia 990911. Morphogenetic field mentioned. Non-binary ice cream. Interesting. I didn't know ice cream could be non-binary. Not me, my ice cream melted. I'm sorry to hear that, Jace. Hello, Shearing Sheeps. How are you doing today on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being terrible, 10 being amazing? Be honest. I'm perfectly fine, Doc. What do you mean? That is something that a mentally unwell patient would say, so Car wasn't there. Doc, who is your favorite writer? I am not a consumer of literature. However, I do enjoy the works of Edgar Allan Poe. Doctor, were you involved in the incident of 1989 in which a cart went off the rails and hit a stallion? How do you know this information? I'm now concerned. Doc, how do you know what non-binary is if it's the 80s? Are you familiar with the idea of a binary? Now, add the prefix non, and I believe you will find a conclusion. Shit, he's got me figured out. Sokar wasn't there. Why are you intimately familiar with my past? Doc, more like Dick. Interesting comment. Wait, does Doc know about the bite of 87? There's a chance. That was a mere year ago, although I don't recall any bites occurring. Hey Doc, are you a doc of psychology or philosophy? Psychology. Great question. I'm sure I was bitten or witnessed a bite in the year of 1987, although I don't recall a specific one. Who is this man? What did you do to my streamer? A better question is, what did your streamer do to me? Wait, so you don't know what binary is if you know what non-binary is? No, my assertion is that if you know what a binary is, then you can logically deduce the definition of non-binary. De ter Keewington. Interesting. Hey Doc, when is the ginger returning? That's a wonderful question that I should be very concerned about because my well-being lays in her hands. Hey Doc, do you believe in the big crunch or the heat death of our universe? What is the big crunch? Keewi kidnapped a psychologist and now he's giving us a psychology session. That is true, Valentine. I appreciate your persistent sharing of the truth and of clarity. Truly, in a world filled with chaos and misinformation, you are a breath of fresh air. Yeah, but it's like deleting binary so that should overwrite binary. Hey Doc, do you perchance know if the California girls were unforgettable? I believe they were. California girls. They are unforgettable. Daisy Dukes. Bikinis on top as well. Hello, Magna Panther. How are you doing today on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being terrible, 10 being amazing. Be honest. Oh my god, I just got here. I'm glad I could catch the Moist Critical stream. I am not, in fact, Moist Critical. Hello, Doc. Hope you're doing well, Doc. Thank you, Magna Panther. I hope you're doing good as well. If you're a doc of psychology, how come you're not a consumer of literature? Because I am mentally disabled. Hey Doc, what are your thoughts on the word perchance? I am very fond of the word. It is widely applicable, and I use it frequently. Hey Doc, I've got a searing pain in my chest and a hole in my heart. What do I do, Doc? A searing pain in your chest and a hole in your heart. I'm sure this statement is metaphorical. I would suggest obtaining a, is it pronounced blue high? Shark plushie. What is the best psychology? Could you elaborate? Mr. Psycho, not my name. What are your thoughts on the education model proposed by Paulo Freire? Not familiar with this individual. Of course, Valentine. Okay, serious questions. Why is SpongeBob yellow when I've never seen a yellow sponge? Who is this SpongeBob? California Girls came out in 2010. How are you aware? Jace the Waste? Females have been residing in California far before 2010. Damn, Keewi clocked my ass. I'm not sure who this Keewi person is and why you keep referring to me as them, but yes, I am in fact good at my job. Dr. Gregington, are you a rock climber? I have climbed a rock wall occasionally. A few times in my life, although I am deeply unskilled at it. Another thing you need to know is that a movie called Glittering starring Maria Carey will be released on September 11, 2001, of course. Is that the terrible tragedy that occurs on September 11, 2001? The release of that movie? Is that the event that's worse than somebody's ice cream melting? Doc, it's 6 a.m. Should I go to sleep or is it too late now because I'll ruin tomorrow if I sleep? If you want to not upset your sleep schedule, I recommend sleeping a few hours. Set a timer and give yourself at least 50 minutes for one full sleep cycle. What year is it for you, Doc? It is 1988. If you know what happened on 9/11, how don't you know SpongeBob? 9/11 of what year? I'm doing good, Doc. I'm like a 7. That is wonderful. But I will say, Doc, your rates are exorbitant. I'm roughly 7K in debt from last visit, and all you did was tell me I was fine. So you may not be fully appreciating my services. I am a professional, and my time is extremely valuable. Now, my prices are deeply thought about and deeply fair, and if you disagree with them, feel free to go to my colleagues. You know there are other options around town, but there's a reason you continue to visit me, Magna Panther, isn't there? You know I'm qualified. I will not acquiesce. I will not lower my prices. I know my worth. We told him about 9/11. I was informed of the occurrences on this date of September 9th, 2001. Doc, are you interested in uppies? What are uppies? Doctor, my erection has lasted for 3 hours and 45 minutes. Do I thug it out for 16 more minutes as recommended? Yes, I would suggest that. If your erection is that persistent, you may want to visit a hospital. However, you could try, as you phrased it, thugging it out. I can also think of an alternate method to alleviate this pain. However, I don't think this streaming platform, as my captor refers to it, would appreciate such an explanation. Doc, if you make it to 2011, buy Bitcoin, trust. Thank you for this information. I will keep it in mind. Doctor, are you perhaps interested in being a material girl? This sounds rather intriguing. Doc, what is your go-to country for the holidays? I do not travel. I reside in Virginia, and I do not deviate from my routine, which is why this kidnapping was rather upsetting. Doc, what happened in 1967? Was 6'7" big? Was I famous? I wouldn't say the year 1967 was big or small. I would say it was equally sized compared to all the other years. Doc, how would you get a small cylinder, 5.1 inches in length, around 4.5 inches in girth, unstuck from a mini M&M's tube filled with butter and microwave mashed banana? If it's filled with butter, there should be proper lubrication to slide the object out, should there not? If not, have you considered breaking the M&M's tube? Doc, have you seen Back to the Future? I have not. I think my captor is calling me. I think I must depart. I need to orchestrate a plan to escape before she becomes aware of my motives. I'm sure she can access this footage. So I should depart while I still have time. Thank you all for joining me and sharing such wisdom with me. This was supposed to be a session where I share wisdom with you, but the opposite has occurred. Before you escape, you should watch Back to the Future. Noted. Alright, Doctor, good luck escaping. Thank you, Valentine. I appreciate your kindness. Good luck and best regards, Doctor. Thank you, my name is Zeph. Have a wonderful night. The cylinder has expanded in girth after it was inserted into the tube, and I am very cautious of harming it. I wish you luck in removing this cylinder, Bia. I wish I had more time to aid you in this struggle. Doc, it has been wonderful having you here today. I'm sorry I complained about your prices. Have a good one. Keep it real. Magna Panther, no worries. I appreciate you. You are my favorite client. Have a wonderful night, my friend. Good luck, Doctor. I hope you have fun. Thank you. Good night to you all.